Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. You know that recently, the Northern Senators and Meeti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria rejected a bill seeking the establishment of ranching as the only viable alternative for cattle breeding in Nigeria. The National Animal Husbandry and Ranches Commission Establishment Bill has scaled the second reading on the floor of the Senate after an intense debate. Now, the bill aims to establish ranches for herders in their state of origin, replacing the current practice of open grazing. It meets opposition from among others the Deputy Senate President, Jubril Barao, who opposed it, saying that many Fulani herders, do not know their state of origin. So it will be unfair to ask them to relocate to their state of origin where the ranches will be established for them, or where they will be provided with the provision for the establishment of ranches. But his argument was not convincing. This is because any herder in Nigeria who does not know his state of origin is not likely to be a Nigerian herder, because most herders, it is assumed, know their state of origin. Nigeria it got its independence in 1960, and the interaction between Nigerians have not been past more than 100 years or more. It can be in that bracket, but it's not convincing that there is a herder who doesn't know where he came from or his state of origin. So it wasn't a convincing argument that he made. And then there was also the issue of free movement of people, which Senator Adamu Alero and Senator Danji Magoje brought up. But the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, himself a lawyer, reminded them that the right of freedom of movement and to settle wherever you want in Nigeria is a right that is granted to Nigerian citizens and not to cows. It's a right that is granted to Nigerian citizens and not to cows. And Akpabio rightly insisted that cows are not citizens of Nigeria. Now, you know that despite the efforts by these northern senators to stop the bill managed to pass through the second reading. But now, with the intervention of the northern elders, it may be difficult for that bill to pass the third reading and then being forwarded to the president for his assent. Now, before I go into the northern elders intervention and how their intervention is a reversal of the bill on the animal husbandry bill that seeks to restrict movement of herders and their cattle. If you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. Now, the Northern Elders Forum has now joined the Northern Senators who oppose the National Animal Husbandry and Ranching Ranches Commission Establishment Bill. And the Northern Elders is rather proposing the proclamation of a national policy on grazing and livestock development. The Northern Elders Forum is now proposing the proclamation of a national policy on grazing and livestock development, particularly the establishment of National Pastoralist Commission. National Pastoralist Commission. And the Northern Elders say that this new proposal was in response to different views on the National Animal Husbandry and Ranches Commission Establishment Bill, which is the bill that restricts the movement of cattle and which seeks to establish ranches in states of origin of herders. Now, Northern Elders Forum, in a statement by the Director of Publicity and Advocacy, Abdul-Azeez Suleiman, said that the federal government and state government should immediately, mark the word, should immediately identify suitable lands across the country and create grazing reserves. That the state and federal governments should immediately identify suitable lands across the country and create grazing reserves and cattle routes. And where where resistance is shown, that is, if the people who owns the land protest, where there is resistance, where resistance is shown, or where there is resistance, to expropriate such land as may be required for the purpose through resort to the extant provisions of the Land Use Act and other related laws. You know what they mean by expropriation? They say if they want to take your land or land that had been earmarked for these grazing routes, grazing reserves and cattle routes, if that land is taken, is earmarked for that, and you resist it, say you are not going to make your land available for grazing reserves and cattle routes, it will be expropriated under the Land Use Act. But don't forget that the Land Use Act puts every land in the state under the control of the state government. Just as the Land Use Act put all the land in Abuja under the president, who now delegated that power to the Minister of the FCT. So what the Northern Elders is saying, that the federal and state governments should identify appropriate, suitable land, let me use your word, suitable land, to create grazing reserves and cattle routes. Now, if you remember, creation of grazing reserves and cattle routes was a battle that Nigerians fought with President Muhammad Buhari, who did everything he could to ensure the creation of grazing reserves and cattle routes under several guises. Now, instead of accepting the new bill that was presented that will restrict the movement of cattle so that herdsmen can be able to establish ranches in their states of origin, Northern Elders is opposed to it. What they want is the old ideas of Buhari that was rejected, the idea of creating grazing reserves and cattle routes. And now they are saying that if anybody opposes, if a land is found suitable in their ward, they say that federal and state government should immediately look for suitable land for creation of grazing reserves and cattle routes. And where resistance is shown, to expropriate such land as may be required for the purpose through resort to extant provisions of the Land Use Act and other related laws. It therefore means that Northern Elders Forum is not ready to sort out this. They don't want this problem to be solved because their suggestion of creation of grazing reserve nationwide and cattle routes nationwide is not going to be acceptable to most Nigerians. I can tell you that for free. How they think that this is a solution to the National Animal Husbandry Bill, which restricts movement of cattle to their state of origin, where they will establish ranches for them. It beats my imagination. Apparently, they don't want solution to this problem to be found. Now, why this is troubling is because Northern Elders Forum wield a lot of influence, whether we like it or not. What it means is that with this new suggestion, they are likely to influence the senators from the north. When the National Animal Husbandry Commission Establishment Bill gets to the third reading, it may not pass. That's my hunch, but I don't know what you think. Now, when we are trying to find a solution to a problem that has led to the killing of over 60,000 Nigerians, most of them from the north, this is not the right time to grandstand and still insisting on the old method that Buhari tried and Nigerians resisted him. And you know Buhari, if he want to do something that will serve his own interest, he will pursue to the best of his ability. He tried and Nigerians resisted it. They came under all kinds of guises. And Nigerians resisted the idea of creating grazing reserves and cattle routes. When they had grazing reserve and cattle routes, even in the north itself, what was the population of the country? Whatever remains of the grazing reserves and the cattle routes in northern Nigeria has been overtaken by development in the north. And I will wait to see whether there is any state in southern Nigeria that is going to make land available. We present any state governor in the southern Nigeria that will say that they have suitable land for creation of grazing reserves and cattle routes. Because the new bill on the National Animal Husbandry Commission Establishment Bill is a very fantastic solution to this problem of herders farmers clashes that have claimed over 60,000 lives and in which several communities have been sacked. If you go to Benue State, they have over 2 million IDPs, internally displaced persons. You go to Nasarawa, you go to Taraba, you go to even Katsina itself. Go to Niger. Hundreds of thousands of Nigerians are IDPs caused by this problem. And this is the National Animal Husbandry Establishment Commission Bill is the best bill I have ever seen that could solve this problem. But Northern Elders Forum is not trying to muddle the water and make it difficult to find a solution to this problem. Now, the Northern Elders Forum in their statement also noted that successive governments have found it expeditious to establish structures like UMPADEC, NDDC, Ministry of Niger Delta, the Amnesty Program, etc., aimed at resolving a specific set of challenges affecting specific communities in the South, stressing that therefore there is therefore no justification whatsoever to resist or even question the creation of special initiatives to address the needs of herdsmen if this will lead to lasting peace and stability. Now, nobody is against the establishment of National Pastoralist Commission. But the idea that in the process of establishing it, that grazing reserves will be created nationwide and grazing routes is not going to fly with most Nigerians. It's not going to fly with most Nigerians. If that is their own resistance to the initial bill, which they claim that the reason why they are proposing their own is because there was no agreement. But I can tell you for free that most Nigerians agree. Most Nigerians agree that the National Animal Husbandry Commission Establishment Bill, which restricts movement of cattle and headers and proposes the establishment of cattle ranches in the state of origins of the headers, is the best solution that anyone can think of now to solve the problem. Because all over the world, Nigeria is not the only country that eats cow meat. All over the world, people eat it. And all over the world, wherever they are practicing animal husbandry, people practice ranching. It is the best solution. And where best do you have to establish the ranch? Is it not your state of origin, where you have access to your own ancestral lands, where you can establish it? That's the best place to do. And and government will be encouraged. I think that bill makes provision in such a way that government and private sector will provide provisions, financial backup for the establishment of the ranches in the states of origin of the headers, so that the bushes and forests across Nigeria can be safe for farmers to go and do their farm work in their own ancestral lands for sustainable peace and security in Nigeria. The truth of the matter remains that the idea of open grazing has been found not even a productive process of animal husbandry. That's why the cattle, when they are moved from all kinds of places, north to south, everywhere, they are not as nutritious, they are not as healthy as those that were raised in the ranches. Animal husbandry specialists can tell you that for free. They are not as good, they are not as healthy as the ones that were reared in a confined environment like a ranch. And now there's a bill that will make provision to make it easier for headers to be able to establish ranches. And what you have is not an Herders Forum coming up with an alternative that will take Nigeria back again to Egypt, literally. Invoking establishment of grazing reserve and cattle route, which was an agenda of Buhari and co that didn't fly, despite all the carrot and stick approach that Buhari used to try to enforce it nationwide. It was resisted. Even in the north, I can't remember any state that allowed the creation of grazing reserves and grazing route. Maybe there are some that did that, we don't know. But I can tell you the idea of a nationwide creation of grazing reserve and grazing route will be resisted in many states in the country, including in northern Nigeria. Therefore, it means that what the northern elders has proposed is no better than what the Senate passed for second reading the other day. And I have said it in another video that northern elders, that northern senators should indeed support the bill restricting the movement of herders, because that is the sustainable solution to the problem. After all, out of the 60,000 Nigerians that have been killed as a result of, over 60,000 Nigerians that have been killed as a result of herders-farmers clashes, majority of those that were killed were in northern Nigeria. So if northern senators value the life of their constituents, they should support the initial bill for the establishment of National Animal Husbandry Commission Establishment Bill, because that is the best practices you can get. That is the best practices you can get anywhere in the world for cattle breeding in the world. And that is the best option for Nigeria. That's my take on this. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.